Welcome back to Digiburst, guys. We are here joined with Sean. He recently went top 8 at the Oceania Ultimate Cup this weekend with Gallantmon. Really exciting deck, really cool to see a rogue tier deck, a considered rogue tier deck, make a spotlight here in the top 8 of the Ultimate Cup, especially with such a dominance of Beelsmon, Machinegmon, and Red Hybrid in this format. Sean, why don't you take it away? Show us your eggs.
So I run the 4 Digimon. I tried the other one, but this one is probably the best one just because of draw power.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, the best egg for Gallantmon you could possibly want.
So you want this one more than the plus 1000 deletion effect?
Yeah, you just want this one. I tried running the other one at a 1 of, but every time you needed the draw, you just wouldn't see it. Like, this is nice when it comes up, and you don't have to run the X antibodies to like pop the 7k, but yeah, it's just not that great.
Yeah. Unless
you somehow can manage to get it as like your second or third egg when you need it. It's just situational. And then we have the rookies, which is kind of weird that most people would probably play this at 4, but where you have the BT12 Gallantmon.
Yeah, because this one only grabs the Ducato, right?
Yeah, you do not want to play this. The only time you want to play this is if you're about 20 cards deep and you haven't seen a tamer, or you just assume they're in your security, but by then you're probably going to assume they're in your security, which is pretty great. I had the Blitz Ducato come up like first check multiple times against people, and it was the most funniest thing, their reaction to it.
But the plus 2k is the important part, right? With the paired with Raid?
Yeah, this is very important because most level 6s are 12k, some are 13k, so just getting to 14k is more than enough to just wipe them out.
Yeah.
And then we have for the best Gallantmon, the EX2 one.
Yeah.
This one is just insane for its search power and also for its inheritable. Sometimes I wish it came up when I needed it, but I digivolved the wrong one in Raising, which I could have a comeback from that, but it was just really painful against one of my last Beelsmon matches when I really needed to pop an extra thing on field.
Yeah.
And then 4 of the Warp Gallantmon, most people try not to play 4 of these for some reason, but the consistency when you kill something and being able to draw multiple cards is kind of insane, especially if you play this and then the last level 3 you play, which is 2 Gallantmon X's.
Yeah.
You just hard slam this, digivolve this, and you just draw 2 cards, so you didn't really lose anything.
Yeah, and a little bit extra board control is really nice, popping a 3k or less. Yeah, solid.
Yeah. My favorite level 4, in all honesty, is probably this BT12 Gallantmon. It is insane for what it does. Just being able to play a tamer. Sometimes I want to play a tamer the entire game, and then I'll just play it during like late game, where I have a memory boost, a gravity crush, hard play Gallantmon, digivolve into Gallantmon, play out Blitz Ducato, or if I'd had a Gallantmon on field, play out a Blitz Ducato, and I could just set up massive combos to go into Crimson mode.
Yeah. And it has that really good flexibility of having the choice between 2 really good tamers, like the Biomerge tamer also being a memory setter, but also having the Blitz to turn on to either up that Growlmon into the War Growl and then into a Gallantmon and then blitzing with that Ducato blade. It's so good. It's just so good.
It's amazing. If you digivolve this in Raising and set up a memory boost and you have everything, if they have something you promote, they put you to 2, pop the boost, do this, play out Blitz Ducato and War Growl, and you can just pop their field.
Yeah.
Like, by turn 2, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
The next one, which I'd say is an MVP as well for some matchups, which I might drop down to 2 in the future, like future sets, is the starter deck Gallantmon, the Game 1 memory.
Yep.
This came up so often when I needed it, where I'd be like, oh no, I need to keep my turn, but then I'd have this, and I was like, oh, this is fine. This and 1 Ducato, the Blitz one, you'd just go into War Growl, and it'd be a 1 cost.
Nice.
Which is kind of insane, people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And then, thanks to your help, I ended up dropping this down from 4 and bumping this up by 1, which really came in handy for some matchups.
Yeah, Sean and I were in the lab for a little bit, yeah. Before 20.
Trying to like fix some things to make sure it was almost perfect. Constant practice against Machine Digimon, so painful.
Yeah, did you go against a Machine Digimon deck this tournament?
I didn't. I got to avoid most Machine Digimons and Red Hybrid thanks to you knocking them out so early.
Yeah, they are hard matchups for you, but thankfully, yeah, you're able to dodge them.
Yeah, I was able to dodge them, which is great. Most of the matches were kind of the same except for 2, but I'll probably get into that after showing the list.
Yep.
I've had a bunch of people on Facebook already ask me about the list after someone wrote a post and I said I was the Gallant player, which is kind of funny. But going to level 5s, my favorite War Growlmon at the moment, which is the BT12 War Growlmon. This card is just insane. It's like a memory boost, but on wheels, which I love it so much. I've had people not play something against me because they're like, oh, I don't want it popped. I just gained 2 memory and could just unsuspend with Gallon X and then go for Crimson Mode plays, which I thought was kind of funny just to end games.
Yeah, it's like, it's really easy to go like Gallantmon in the nursery, set up a red boost, and then go next turn, push out, go Gallantmon, play a Decado, go into BT12 War Growl, and then you use this effect to go straight into Gallantmon and blitz with it. That's like Gallantmon turn 2, that's crazy.
Yeah,
also,
I mean,
you're just gaining so much memory back, you're probably choking your opponent on 1.
Yeah, if that's not happening, they got a memory tamer. By the time you Digivolve one of these, play out your Blitz Decado, and then Digivolve into this, you just put them to 3 at the end anyway. Yeah. And you've just warped into a Gallantmon, trash a security checked one. Yeah. And then that's just 2 damage.
Yeah, and then you're gaining 2 memory back if you've pretty much got nothing on the board. And on turn 2, and you just wiped out a lot of little guys, you probably put them on no guys on board. So that's like really solid choke on 1, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes against Biazmon, they'll have to hard play the 7-cost option, which gives you time to go Gallantmon and play out the Decado.
Yeah.
That warps, and if you have a Gallantmon in hand, you can just clap back again, and they just sit there like, oh, okay, you just went straight up. I'm like, yep. And
they're fueling your cards because they're setting up the trash for you to get your extra security attacks and trashing, right?
Yep.
Nice.
They don't realize that you're wanting your things to die and set up your trash. Like sometimes you just sit at this and just don't care, because if you go into the next one, which is War Growl X, even if you swing with this, you still gain the memory because it's if it has Growlmon or if it has Gallantmon in its name.
Nice.
So you can just sit at like a non-level 6, and then with the BT12 Growl and the Gallantmon, he's sitting at 12k, which is already scary enough for a level 5 really early on.
Yeah.
This is kind of a tech that you told me to probably test out, which I really ended up liking after testing against Armor for a bit. EX2 Gallantmon.
Yes.
This surprised a lot of Bloom players where they had a huge field. I'd go into this with Blitz, clear it, and swing into the high end, just being 14k by itself, and they didn't see it coming. Yeah, it was probably the most funniest play that I've ever seen.
Yeah, because that was like the main reason like I thought it would do well, because like it just hits over the Hydramon, being the 14k plus anything else that like it just left suspended. It's just really solid to punch with.
It really is. This is probably what everyone already knows is going to be in here. BT12 Gallant. It is probably one of my favorite cards because people are still learning its effect, which makes me really happy.
And now you're gonna get the Altar now that you can make the top 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one of the top 8, and I'm gonna be happy about that because eventually I just run 2 of these and 2 BT13 ones. But you know, I actually love this artwork a lot, and being able to have a gold one too is gonna be pretty insane.
Nice, yeah.
Just slowly trying to get this more and more max rarity, but I mean, it's one of the most prettiest decks.
Absolutely.
We then have 3 Gallant X's. Some people opt to play 2. I've found you want more of the unsuspend than anything, because sometimes you really need it. In one of my matches, I was able to swing with a War Growl Live, Digivolve into this with a Gravity Crush, unsuspend, and just Crimson Mode. And it's because they had only 10 in trash, but 3 security. Which, honestly, was probably one of my favorite plays to do to someone, because they didn't see it coming, and they were just telling me they were going to kill me the next turn, and I was like, well, yeah, I did it first.
You could also do a play with the Growlmon into Growlmon X, swing and ball control, gain 2 memory back at end of turn because you're blitzing, and then you keep turn because you gain memory back. You can go into Gallantmon, which unsuspends, and you can blitz again. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's so that's about 3 checks. Once you go into this and they try to remove it, you don't really care once they try to remove it, because if you don't have this Gallantmon in its sources, you're not popping anything when you attack, so it's not like you really care.
Yeah.
And then most of the time you got your pieces in your trash, which have felt like fallen for the bait.
Yeah,
which...
and then you set up for warping to Kato.
Exactly.
Very nice.
I wish I could somehow fit a 3rd copy of Crimson Mode in, because some games I didn't see it. There was a point where I could have evolved this into Gallantmon, and this was the next draw, but I was too scared that it wouldn't be there. Should have trusted my instinct, so I took a round loss, but I still won. But yeah, this card is probably one of my most favorite in the deck. If you don't have Decado, you're probably in a pinch. Like, you really need the Blitz out to use it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Against a Biazmon, I got the 5 memory, and I should have just Digivolved into this, but I should have asked to look at their trash to see how many removal options they had, because I'm not sure if they had one in hand to remove it or not, which I ended up losing. But I played out like this Growlmon, Digivolved, and then Digivolved into a Walk Growl, passing him to 3 instead of 1, which probably would have been a better choice to go straight into Crimson.
Okay.
I also have 4 Blitz Staccato. I've tried it at 3 every ratio, and 4 is probably my most favorite. They're gonna hit it in security, so probably the best thing ever.
Absolutely at 4, yeah. Because even if you get multiple of them out, it's not like, yeah, you only get the Blitz really once, but like the memory gain is still very relevant for keeping turn and just getting more value.
I mean, yeah, it acts like Growlmon, so
Yeah.
if you don't see that Growlmon, you're still fine. You got the Decado. This one just sets you up so you can play out, you know, the Decado, use the Walk Growl. It's a 2 cost, choke them if they put you to 1, and it hurts you very early in the game if you're doing that to someone. Another one is at 3, the Warping Decado, the memory setting one. I would say I could try cut it to 2, but 3 is probably my most favorite with it.
Yeah.
Just because when you need it, and sometimes you won't see your Decado at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of painful when you don't see any of them. But you can still work without it. You just have to keep carrying on. The last ones are 2 red memory boost and a gravity crush.
Yeah.
Gravity crush was an MVP for so many matches that I was able to finish with it. I think I misplayed with it once, and my opponent didn't gain 2 memory, but it didn't change anything because they would have been put to 3, and they just hard played something for 6, which I just blew up instantly.
Wide,
yeah, they didn't see me board wiping them once they bricked, and they kept playing level 3s, which I ended up just removing every time it hit the field. I just don't like level 3s.
Yeah. Alright, in reflection, anything that you'd possibly change from this list?
I would probably change one of the Warping Gallantmons, even though I love this card so much. I'd probably change it for another memory boost, just so I don't have to commit a body on field and I can search something. Like, it'd probably be a lot better to just search something, gain that extra memory, especially paired with Gravity Crush. Just because sometimes you want that extra memory, which you can't get from your Growlmons. You kind of want one more, and if you don't see Gravity Crush and you don't want to give your opponent extra memory, you also want them to hit it in security, so it makes them kind of regret the decision, and then they'll try to play safer. Yeah, they second guess their next kind of moves, which is just mental warfare then, which is kind of fun to do with Gallantmon because they don't see it coming.
Yeah.
They just sit there like, we know what this deck does, we're not excited that you have more memory, and you're like, yep, could probably be a lot worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, my matchups.
Yeah, what are your matchups like?
Well, I had Bloom Lord first. I was kind of nervous, like I usually am, with the first game of the day.
Yeah.
I ended up winning 2-0, and I was just off that high for basically the rest of the day.
Yeah, you got pretty strong natural advantage against Bloom Lord.
Yeah. Then I versed a Merva, who told me he versed a Gallantmon before me. The guy apparently said he bricked. I'm not sure how that happened because game 1, I bricked against him, and I mulled, so I hard played this Tamer, and I just hard played this Growlmon, and he was choked at 1, like on his, I think his second turn, And then I just kept using the momentum from that, drew into a rookie after I went into Grail X, and I was like, well, I'm unbricked already. That was easy.
Nice.
And then yeah, I just Crimson Raided him a bunch, kept removing his field, didn't like him having things on field. And then I versed another, I versed Biazmon next, which was my friend Ari. Shout out to him, probably one of the best Biazmon players I know. He was, he bricked on the first game, which I took huge advantage of it in Eggman's stream. Once I was a win ahead, I was kind of feeling a little bit more relaxed. And then I ended up beating him the second round. I just Crimson Raided him every time I could.
Nice.
And if I didn't, I would just go into Raid Gallant, which I top decked 2 of them when I didn't have anything because he removed one of my stacks. And I just kept Digivolving, top decked it, swung, hard play to Gilmon, he would remove it, and then I would just Biomerge straight up, use this to trash his last security. And yeah, that was probably one of my favorite plays to do.
Yeah.
I versed another Bloom after that, which was, funny enough, someone I know from one of my locals. I got a little nervous after that, and then I versed another Biazmon, bricked game 1. I couldn't come back in time. Round 2, I Crimson Raided him, and I don't think he saw that coming. And then I'm pretty sure I trashed 4 security.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was kind of insane.
Yeah, it was on the stream. I was watching it. You trashed 4 security and swung for game with the blitz. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't think he's like. I ended up talking to him after. He's never seen that happen before, and that was kind of funny because I usually do that with a lot of people. But the third game I just couldn't get there. I was digging for Gallant X and Crimson, but I just did not see them. And then by the end, I couldn't do anything. Like I needed the Gallant X to pop his entire field.
Yeah,
and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, you were really close in that last turn of game 3, because your opponent passed turn. I think you had the memory setter, Warper, and you had the Blitz Katado, and you had a Gallantmon pushing out. So if you just had a Gallantmon in hand, plus Gallant plus Crimson mode, you just win because you trash all their security. But yeah, you just didn't have the piece, unfortunately. It was really unfortunate because I was really hyped as an audience member.
Yeah, I also drew this after I went into Gallantmon when I drew it, which really sucked because I could have gained even more memory.
Yeah. And
probably popped that Impmon or the Biazmon, not Biazmon, the Balmon, and then I could have Digivolve killed, the level 3, swing over the other one, he would have 2 left, and then Gallant X and kill 1. Because that would have been nice, and then maybe Crimson Mode, give him a lot of memory, but the deck was basically getting thinned out by then.
Yeah.
After that, I versed Bloom, which we had some technical issues, which I was not really happy with in the end, but things happen.
Yeah.
We couldn't start till the timer hit 35 minutes.
Yeah, online tournaments can have some difficulties, unfortunately.
Yeah, we only got a 5-minute extension. He took ages to play, but I got a draw, so it's not the worst thing. I wish I could have played it out in the end, but
yeah.
I mean, there's not much more to say about it. The judges were very nice and tried to help both sides, which I appreciate a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. My last one was Dark Knightmon, which I was talking to him and telling him about how there's a Dark Knightmon player that cheated and he was caught.
Yeah.
And it was the most funniest thing when I was talking to him about it, because we ended up doing the meme of Gallantmon vs Dark Knight with just but a scratch, where kill him, Digivolve, get Digivolve, Digivolve again, and just keep going back and forth while it was still my turn. He held out in the last game and just kept pulling out more and more every time his stuff died, to the point where he ran out of stuff and I drew my last card and just won.
Yeah. But he was a really sweet player, wasn't he? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was probably one of the most nicest players I've ever talked to, and he's like, well, looks like the Gallant player gets the Gallant card. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, top 8 set. So that's Digimon all the way to Gallantmon. It's gonna look really nice in this deck with BT12.
Yeah, it's gonna look really nice, especially in EX4 and BT13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get to pimp this deck out even more, which I'll be happy about. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty insane.
I can't wait to see how this deck looks in EX4 with the new the Ultimate Cup that we got just 3 weeks away, I think.
Yeah, I just need to get good enough to get another War Growl, because I'm going to be trying to get 4 of them.
Yeah, one more opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I might just go for 2 of these and 2 of the Tamer Party ones, just to make it a little bit more prettier with different colors, but honestly love this artwork a lot.
Yeah, absolutely one of the prettiest decks in the entire game.
I mean, yeah, before we had these Ultimate Cups and it got revealed, I was just sitting there and I was like, oh, these are so pretty. Sadly, I got a loss, so I couldn't get the Crimson mode, but I'm still happy about placing, 6th place. Not bad with a Gallantmon, only won top 32.
Yeah,
so
you get a couple more shots. We got one in June and then one more in September, I think.
I mean, yeah, hopefully BT13's out by then and I can just kill Machinedramon with the new Gallant from it. But that's all I need for it, just Digivolve, kill, swing, kill, Digivolve once, kill.
Yeah, you can do really big, multiple deletions in your pushes. It can get scary.
It can, especially how I've got the deck designed to trash the deck even more by then, so the more I trash them, the worse it can hurt them too. They might be able to play something out, but I can always keep clapping back till they just run out of cards. So that should be nice.
Alright. Do you want to give a shout out to anyone while you're here?
Shout out to you, obviously, at helping me practice, especially with using Machinedramon. The Black Hole Greymon deck that you had, I just clapped that a lot of times. Ari, obviously, he's an amazing player. I don't really know how he gets so good, but he's done a lot of tops.
Oh yeah, his whole team's just got so many tops now.
Oh yeah,
No Pants Gaming. Shout out to them.
Yeah, his team was insane. My girlfriend too plays Armor. Like, I practice with her every night, so yeah, the best practice is constantly beating through Armor, which really sucks sometimes. And then I gotta get ready for a store tournament now.
Yeah, I better let you go. Thank you, Sean, for joining us. I can't wait to show this to the audience and actually demonstrate how fantastic Gallantmon is in this Ultimate Cup format with just single color base.
I mean, there's only one different color, and it's just EX3 War Growl, and that's it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.